Welcome, grade 10 English learners. The video lesson for today will focus on using words and expressions to emphasize a point. Specifically, you will learn about the following: identify conjunctions, conjunctive adverbs, and parenthetical expressions, identify words and expressions that emphasize a point, and use words and expressions that emphasize a point in sentences. But before we begin the discussion proper, let's condition our minds first and let's have this motivational activity. Are you ready? Let us start. So the activity for today is called thumbs up or thumbs down. You will be given 3 statements which are either true or false. If the statement is true, then give me a thumbs up. Thumbs down, of course, if you think that the statement is false. You have 5 seconds to give me your answer, and here is your first statement. A cross between a horse and a zebra is called a hobra. Answers in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, the answer is thumbs down. This is false. A male zebra and a female horse is called a zorse, and a female zebra and a male horse is called a zonkey. Isn't that interesting? Next, let's have this statement. A is the most common letter used in the English language. Answers in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, this is thumbs down. E is the most common letter and appears in 11% of all English words, according to Oxford Dictionaries. Now, for the last item, here's the statement. It takes a slot 2 weeks to digest a meal. Answers in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is thumbs up, as that's the slowest digestion time of any mammal. When they say that sloths are slow, sloths are really slow. And that's it for our motivational activity. I hope that you guys had fun somehow and are geared up to take on our lesson for today. Before we begin our lesson about using words and expressions that emphasize a point, let's have a short recap first on our previous lesson. Last discussion, we learned that pronouns are substitutes for nouns or noun phrases to avoid repeating the same nouns. Reflexive pronoun reflects the subject of the sentence, which tells us that whoever acts in a sentence is also the one receiving the action. On the other hand, an intensive pronoun emphasizes a preceding noun or the noun before it. It looks the same as reflexive pronouns. It can be removed in the sentence without changing the thought of a statement. I hope that you guys will remember that, as you will use that in the future. Moving on, let's now tackle the lesson on using words and expressions to emphasize a point.
The word emphasize, which is a verb, means to give special attention. Emphasis in writing is important not only to create variety and maintain interest, but also to help readers easily get the main points from what you are trying to say. Thus, this lesson can be applied whether you are writing a text or when you are speaking your mind. Some of those words and expressions are conjunctions, adverb or conjunctive adverbs, and parenthetical expressions. So, what are these words and expressions? Number 1, conjunctions. A conjunction is a word that is used to connect words, phrases, and clauses. There are many conjunctions in the English language, but some common ones include and, or, but, because, for, if, and when. Furthermore, there are three basic types of conjunction, namely coordinating, subordinating, and correlative. Let us first have the coordinating conjunctions. This type of conjunction is used to connect items that are grammatically equal, two words, two phrases, or two independent clauses. There are 7 coordinating conjunctions in English, and you can remember them by using the mnemonic device fanboys: for, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. Also, one thing to remember about this conjunction is that this type is placed between the items that it links together. To see how it is used, I provided different examples. In the examples, it was indicated how conjunctions are used to link words, phrases, and independent clauses. Let's first start with words. Coordinating conjunctions can join two nouns, verbs, adjectives, or other types of word. For example, the data was gathered through questionnaire and interviews. Second example, I don't like to run or swim. Third, he was clever but lazy. They can also join different types of clauses. For example, the dog wagged his tail and panted excitedly. Next, the results were undeniably intriguing, yet ultimately inconclusive. Third, she usually studies in the library or at the cafe. Next, independent clauses. A clause is a group of words that contains at least a subject and a verb. An independent clause can stand on its own as a full sentence, expressing a complete thought. For example, today, Jane Austen is one of the most widely read English novelists, but she achieved little fame during her lifetime. In the sentence above, coordinating conjunction but creates a relationship between two independent clauses. Therefore, you place a comma before but. However, notice that the two clauses also work as sentences on their own. Today, Jane Austen is one of the most widely read English novelists. She achieved a little fame during her lifetime. From this sentence, can you notice now how but was used for emphasis?
Now we'll have the subordinating conjunctions. This type of conjunction includes words like because, if, although, since, until, and while. A subordinating conjunction is used to introduce a dependent clause. In contrast to an independent clause, a dependent clause, also known as a subordinate clause, is a group of words that contains a subject and a verb but cannot stand as a complete sentence on its own. A dependent clause does not express a complete idea, so it must always be attached to an independent clause. For example, I went to school without eating breakfast because I woke up late this morning. I woke up late this morning is an independent clause, but the subordinating conjunction because turns it into a dependent clause. Because I woke up late this morning does not finish a complete thought. It must be joined to an independent clause to form a grammatically correct sentence. Furthermore, the subordinating conjunction defines the relationship between the clauses. Let's have this table that will have some common subordinating conjunctions and the relationships they express. But note that this is not a complete list.
Under cause and effect, we have because, since, and so. Under time, we have when, before, after, once, until, whenever, since, and while. Under place, we have where and wherever. Under condition, we have if, unless, in case. And under contrast, we have although, though, and where areas.
To have more idea about subordinating conjunctions, here are some examples.
Number 1. She will receive a major bonus if she succeeds in closing the corporate partnership deal. Number 2. John's friends snuck into his apartment to set up a surprise party while he was at work.
Lastly, we'll have the correlative conjunctions. This type of conjunction always comes in a pair and is used to join grammatically equal elements in a sentence. Common pairs includes either, or, neither, nor, not only, but also, and both, and. Furthermore, correlative conjunctions must use parallel structure, which means that the two elements take the same grammatical form. Here are some examples of correlative conjunctions.
She planned to collect data by either using an online survey or conducting phone interviews. Number 2. Neither Deborah nor Sally expressed her annoyance when the cat broke the antique lamp. Number 3. Her book on the Vietnam War drew not only from interviews with other survivors, but also from her own experiences in the conflict. Number 4. She is both intelligent and beautiful.
Next, we'll have the conjunctive adverbs. A conjunctive adverb is an adverb which connects two independent clauses. It shows cause and effect, sequence, contrast, comparison, or other relationships. The adverbs and adverbial phrases that fit the criteria for a conjunctive adverb are always modifiers of the predicate in the first independent clause. Here's a table of the most commonly used conjunctive adverbs and their functions.
Under cause and effect, we have accordingly, consequently, therefore, then. Under sequence, we have first or next, finally, furthermore, in addition. Under time, we have before, meanwhile, since, and now. Under contrast, we have however, instead, in spite of, rather. Under emphasis, we have indeed, of course, certainly, definitely. Under summarize, we have in conclusion, in summary, briefly, quickly. Under illustrate, we have for example, for instance, namely, typically. And under comparison, we have like or as, likewise, similarly, and alternatively.
To know more about it, we have grouped the conjunctive adverbs according to how they are used. First, joining independent clauses. An independent clause can stand by itself as a complete sentence. To join two independent clauses with a conjunctive adverb, writers often use a semicolon before a conjunctive adverb and a comma after it. It can be helpful to think of a sentence structure as a formula. For example, I wash my hands, therefore my hands are clean. In the first example, the conjunctive adverb is therefore. It separates the two independent clauses and shows a cause and effect function, which is I wash my hands, the cause, and my hands are clean, the effect. Second, we can prevent the spread of disease. For instance, we can wash our hands after using the restroom. In the second example, the conjunctive adverb is for instance. It separates two independent clauses and shows the illustrative function. The second clause, we can wash our hands after using the restroom, illustrates how we can prevent the spread of disease. In both examples, there is an independent clause on both sides of the conjunctive adverb. A semicolon before a conjunctive adverb and a comma after a conjunctive adverb. Using a conjunctive adverb to connect two independent clauses shows a close relationship between them. Next, we have transitioning at the beginning of a sentence. The conjunctive adverb can appear at the beginning of a sentence, followed by a comma. The conjunctive adverb will transition from the following sentence and can show how the following sentence is related to the previous sentence. For example, first, several countries locked down during the pandemic. Similarly, other countries did the same. Second, few people believed the pandemic was a problem in the beginning. Now, they are facing the consequences. In the first example, the conjunctive adverb is similarly. It transitions between sentences by showing a comparative function between several countries and other countries. In the second example, the conjunctive adverb is now. It transitions by showing a time function between people's beliefs in the beginning and the consequences they are currently facing.
A parenthetical expression is a phrase or clause that is inserted within the sentence. It interrupts another phrase or clause. Note that the expressions are enclosed in pairs of punctuation marks, commas, or parentheses or dashes. Some of the parenthetical expressions are
After all, at any rate, on the contrary, I believe, as a consequence, in the first place, generally speaking, on the other hand, for instance, as a consequence and as a result.
Here are some example sentences so that you'll know how they are used. First, strawberry jam, for example, is good for breakfast. Second, Uncle Charlie, in the first place, paid the bills to stay away with inconvenience. Third, well, as a matter of fact, she did. Fourth, the doctor checks her up. In fact, she is told to have the laboratory tests. And fifth, animals have died as a consequence of coming into contact with this chemical. Do not be confused, conjunctive adverbs can appear in the middle of a sentence to add a function to the sentence depending on the context, and they also link one idea to another. Parenthetical expressions act as interrupter words because they are placed in the middle or inside of a sentence structure. They don't connect an idea or thought, but are mostly used for emphasis. Now, these are some of the words and expressions that we use to emphasize a point. In our next video lesson, you will encounter more. For now, focus on this and know how to use them since you will apply this to your activity. Are you ready? Okay, let's move to the next exciting part.
To know if you truly understood the lesson, the activity would not revolve around a knowledge-checking type of test. Instead, you'll have to create and write something. For the first activity, which is entitled Fix Me, you will be given 5 sentences with words and expressions that emphasize a point. Read them carefully and then fix it. Write the correct sentence on a piece of paper. You can add words if you think that it's not enough, and you can also rearrange the sentence. The sentences are flashed in the screen. Next, we have the activity 2, which is entitled Use Me and Persuade Someone. In a bond of paper, write a 300 to 500 words persuasive essay and use to discuss words and expressions that emphasize a point. The essay must have the basic IBC format, and you can choose any topic that you like. Be sure to convince us on your essay and cite your sources if they are. You will be graded based on this rubric. Okay, and that's it for our lesson for today. The other half of the words and expressions that emphasize a point will be discussed on our next video lesson. So, I'll see you there. Thank you so much and have a good day ahead, grade 10 learners.